Alright everyone, so today is the week you're gonna animate your prop. I want you to choose something very simple um, so you're successful at it, as animation for video game is extremely hard. So we're gonna follow a couple simple rules. We're gonna make sure we are running our animation at 60 frames per second, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. We're gonna make sure that our animation is seamless, so that the beginning and the end of the animation is the same. We're gonna make sure animation is pretty tight and not that long, so let's say 1 second. And we are gonna make sure that it's on a treadmill, so it's not going anywhere. Okay. So first thing first, and that's all in the lectures. Click on the options right here. This is the preferences in the little. Oops, sorry, you haven't seen that. It's under the level of the radar. Let me do that. The screen is so big. So you will go right here in the bottom right corner, the little one, white and orange, or red, and you have the preferences that open. Okay. Now it's important to right away. You're in the time slider right there. You are going to go to the playback speed in the playback section, and you're gonna click on other right here, which you'll probably be on every frame. Okay, you're gonna click on every frame and you're gonna put it on other, and you're gonna go to other speed and you're gonna put 60 right here, like I do have. Okay, and then you're just gonna save that. Alright, very simple. Now you're gonna go in the top corner right here and you're gonna change the polygon menu right here for the first menu animation. A couple menu changes. We won't use them, but it's a good thing to know that you gotta switch modules basically in Maya. Right here you have the timeline. We're gonna change that up to get 1 second because we're working at 60 frames per second. 1 second is 60 basically. So the outer number 1 and 200 right here represent exactly the size of the complete scene. So 1 to 60, that will work. The inner number represent basically your focus, if you want to focus only on 20 frames or on 10 frames out of 60 frames. Okay. Right here you have your VCR commands as usual. Play forward, play backward. The little red thing right here is represent keyframes. So if you click on that button right here, you're going to the next keyframe. If you click on that button right here, you're going to the next frame. Go to lecture frame and keyframe, and you'll understand how it works. Okay, and then you go to the last frame, and you go to the previous, back frame, basically the end. That's pretty much what you get right here. In Maya, for now, to key your animation, you are going to click on S on your keyboard. So you go to your keyboard and you go to the click number 1 right here. You put your up cursor all the way to number 1, and on your keyboard you click S. Alright, right here. You have to select your object, sorry, I apologize. Select your object and click S right here. As you can see, things turn purple, salmonish. Alright, the information, those means that now that has been keyed. Now you can go select the rotation. Alright, move all the way to the end, and you're not going to do any rotation, and then you're going to click on S again. You basically made a dead key where the first key is the same as the last key. It's very important because that's how you make the rule seamless. If the first key is the same as the last key, then your animation will be seamless. Alright, it's pretty simple. So now what we need to do is just do a simple 360 rotation. But before we do that, we have to check the pivot points. The pivot point is the points onto what the transformation will happen on your object. As you can see, it is not centered on that one, so we need to center it. Alright, to do that, so first let me put it back how it was, right here. To do that, we are going to go to Modify, right here, and click on Center Pivot, being right here. Now your pivot point is completely centered, so we can rotate freely, perfectly. Alright, that's one thing. So now, alright, Now let's key it at 59. And at 59, we're gonna simply rotate it like that, and that's the y-axis right here. So we're gonna put 359 right here. Click on S, and now check it out. We're gonna have a stop right here, and we'll fix that up. We have a little stop. All right. Sometimes you don't want to have twice the same key. That does happen. All right. But so in that case, what we'll right click on that key right here, cut it, go to the previous one, copy it, paste it right here, cut the previous again, and now check it out. Not bad, but we still have a stop at the end. And that's because Maya does not know how to interpolate the twins in between, basically. So let's stop that. Let's still be selected. Let's go in our new menu, Windows, Animation, Graph Editor. The Graph Editor is the place you will stay most of the time when you do animation. It's the curve editor, basically. And now you can see that we have in the rotation Y our animation right there. Let me make it bigger so we can see it. But it has, you see, a little coming in and coming out. Those ease in, ease out. We need to get rid of them by selecting everything and then making it flat. Right here, sorry. Alright. When you close that now, you play it, and it will be always a 360. Alright. So you can do a 360 for your project. You can do other stuff. All right. You could do, for example, let me go somewhere else now. 61, for example. You could move the pivot points, basically, of that character by clicking on Insert on your keyboard. You can move the pivot points. Right here, click on Insert a pivot point to the bottom, for example, and now you can rotate it from here. All right, so you could do, for example, right here, you could do an S where you key it here, and then another S right here at the end where you key it, because it has to come back to the same position, right? And then halfway, let's say at 90, all right, you can be all the way here, hitting right there. Alright, and that will give you something like that, basically. Alright, you can adjust it after that by going in the window, Animation Editor, Graph Editor, and start playing with the curve. Alright, if you look at the rotation right here, we are talking, let me see what axis we are talking about. The z-axis mainly. So we rotate z. So we're talking right here. Alright. And now we can go in and start breaking those down by using the breaking down. Alright. Right here. Break tangent. And we can select one of those little handles, they're like Illustrator. And we can adjust them. Alright. So to do stuff to it, basically. Alright, so we can manipulate the way the curve looks like. Alright, you gotta go easy and stuff. Alright, to pick up or not, is in or is that the speed. Alright, so that's it. You got a lot of animation to do. Some of them that are 360 animated, where the last keyframe is interpolating into the first keyframe. And then you have some where the first keyframe, just like that sword, is the same as the last keyframe completely. Alright, so it's perfectly seamless. Good luck and have some fun.